YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Big E hitting y'all up. Y'all know what we do. We out here pulling that weight, bro. But first of all, if you have not, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and comment. Just do what y'all do, you know. But yeah, your boys out here pulling this weight, man. You know, trying to do what we do, you know. I want to give a shout out to one of my viewers that see me over at the yard over in Wilmer. I called him E. I'm gonna call him E because man, I'm bad with names. Once I get to know you, I get your name. But first meeting one time, I'm bad with names. But I do remember his name started with an E. So I'm gonna call him E. He worked the Georgia Pacific account, and he was telling me how he was happy with that account. It's a Georgia Pacific dedicated. I think he probably pulls out of Zachary, Louisiana, and then he runs over here because he said he gets home every other day. Only way I can see him doing that is if I know he said he was from the New Orleans area, so if he pulls out of Zachary and then maybe delivers over near Wilmer or what have you, and then back over to Zachary. So I'm assuming that that's probably what he does. But he says he gets about 2,500 miles. He says that about 2,500 miles, home every other day, he said, and he's off on weekends. So if y'all looking to maybe do something similar to that, then you might look at the Georgia Pacific account if you deciding to come over to Crete, or if you're at Crete and you want to get home more, and you stay in Louisiana or in that area, maybe that's something you can ask about. I don't know. He said the pay, I think he says he makes about 1,000 to 1,100 a week, but I don't know if that's. I'm assuming it's probably gross. I don't know that could be take home, but maybe it is. But yeah, what I'm gonna talk to y'all about today is the importance of your driver manager. You know, a lot of people come through and they'll ask me, "Hey, is Crete a good company?" I tell them, "Hey, man, it's good to me." You know, I can't complain. You know, which a lot of people ask that question: is the company a good company? Is Crete a good company? When I was over at FFEK, was that a good company? And with every company, it's only gonna be as good as the people you work with. So, if I gotta have a great driver manager, and she gets me home on time. She gets me good miles, for the most part, you know, and I don't sit long. So, you know, for me, I gotta Crete's a good company for me. But everybody don't have that. They don't have that experience, you know. So my driver manager, she lets me just do my job. She sends me a pre-plan. If I'm going home, a lot of times I'll have the loads that's gonna get me home. I have those at the beginning of the week. And see, all driver managers don't do that. I don't know why they don't plan ahead. If you're supposed to be going home, they supposed to be on top of that. Then they should be planning you, I would think, to get home. They should be getting you loads at the beginning of the week to get you home. But but you as a driver, you have to kind of look at this like this is your truck, you know, because I mean ultimately, it's your money that's going to be affected, you know. So if you're sitting a lot, then it's your money that's going to be affected. You know, if you're not getting the miles, it's your money being affected. Driver managers are getting paid by the hour or maybe on salary. But regardless, if you worked an hourly job or a salary job, you know, long as you got your work done, you were good. So long as they getting you assigned to a load, they're good. As long as they're moving the loads, they're good. But they don't always they don't always think about, well, you know, what kind of loads am I booking my drivers on, you know, or what did my driver just get through doing? Some of them don't think like that, you know. I had a scenario, and I'm gonna bring up one of my partners and his experience. Now he's a cool guy, you know, and I know he ran hard. He ran like me, similar to the way I run. See, I don't. A lot of drivers swear by the recaps, and they run off recaps all the time. I'm not one of them. You know, I run my clock out on a day-to-day basis, and by the end of the week, I need a 34. I mean, it's been times where I need 34, and I won't get hours back for another day or two. So, that's just how I am. I believe the time is the time. If you run off recaps, then you're pulling up early on a day-to-day basis, and you know, you're not driving your clock all the way out, or you're not working all your full hours on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, they can keep booking you every day that you're out, but at the same time, the time is the time. I don't knock anybody that runs on recaps, because yeah, you working every day, you know. So I mean, I don't know. You know, in the comment section, y'all tell me what you think about that. But you know, your opinions on recaps or what have you. But yeah, I do. I run my time down. So I know he was running like that. He recently left the company, you know, and it was his decision. He had an opportunity to maybe stay with the company, but he chose to move on. And I think he had his frustrations were with his DM, with his driver manager. Over here we call them asset managers. You know, most companies, they'll call them driver managers. My dad, which he's an old school cat, he calls them travel agent. But but yeah. But they all mean the same. So if you hear me say any one of them phrases, it's all the same for you. For those that are new in trucking and may not know specifically, if I say asset manager, why I'm saying that. Well, Crete, they say their drivers are their assets, you know, asset to their company. So then they call them asset managers. Okay, so but yeah, his frustrations, I think, stemmed up from a couple of things. I don't think he was getting the miles he wanted on a regular basis, or he thought he should have been getting. And I mean, he was saying that he was getting 2,000 and 2,500. He's on the same fleet I'm on. He's on the Mid-South. He started off, I think, on National, but then he decided to come over to the Mid-South. Well, he got over to the Mid-South, and I think his DM, when my driver manager has been out, I've dealt with her or him a couple of times, but I think she or he maybe a newer DM. I'm really not sure, but he wasn't getting. I don't think the miles that he thought he should have been getting. That was one, and then two, I think what really kind of got to him was before he went home, and he went home the same time I went home. I went home on a Thursday. He went home on a Thursday. The difference between when he went home and I went home, I go out. I come in. I come home for home time every other week. most of the time. Sometimes I'll stay out 3 weeks, but most of the time I come home every other weekend. He stayed out for like 6 weeks. Now, what kind of happened was kind of a weird situation because, like I said, I told you he runs his clock out. So he ran a load to the Baton Rouge area, which he's from Louisiana, and Baton Rouge is not all that particularly far from where he lives. So he got over there, and he only had like 4 or 5 hours left on his clock, so he had to do a reset. So he reset there, and then was supposed to, and well, he contacted the driver manager, told the driver manager he didn't have the hours, and would it be okay for him to reset there? And he was just gonna go home and wash some clothes, and he'll be right back out. Well, she said, yeah, it's cool, whatever, you know. So he reset there, and might I add, he did not ask to get routed home. That's just how they ended up routing him. It routed him to Louisiana for whatever reason, and he was there and didn't have the hours, so he did a reset. Okay, so he did his 34, came right back out, rode again. He requested, I think, the load out of there to go to California because he had never been, so he did that, you know. But he did, I think, another 34-hour reset right before the beginning of the week, right before he went home. He ran out of hours. So what he did was I believe, a reset, and then he, for lack of better words, I think what he did was he came out with a load, and the load that they gave him was really, it was really set up for somebody that may have was going home or something, because he picked it up either on a Thursday or Friday. He could have made it all the way to deliver it because it was like 600 miles or something. He could have delivered it on Friday, I believe, had had he really wanted to, and they would have been open. But he ended up slow playing it because he could have got there Saturday, but they didn't take loads on Saturday or Sunday. So the next opportunity would have been on Monday, but his appointment time wasn't till Tuesday. So his driver manager somehow dropped the ball on that because, or the planner, I'm not sure who. Somebody dropped the ball on that one because the planner gave him the load, and when he seen the load, he asked him, "Hey, well, this is not really all that productive. So, can I T-call it or do something, or what do we have?" So the driver manager reached out to the planner. The planner said that the load couldn't be T-called. So he agreed to go ahead and just take it, So he took that load, and he ended up calling to see if he could deliver it early. They did let him deliver it early. They let him deliver it on Monday. But just remember, he had just did a 34-hour reset like on Tuesday or Wednesday. He took this load that was maybe 600, either 600 or 800 miles. It wasn't just that far. It wasn't something that was going to make him drive that far to deliver it. He took it over to, he got over there on Saturday. He ended up doing another 34-hour reset and was able to deliver it on Monday. But it just came off of a 34-hour reset. So, it's one of those things where, maybe they didn't have any more loads coming out of the area that he reset in, but it was a kind of a jacked up deal. So anyway, after that load, I think he was frustrated. He had another load that was supposed to get him back down south because he was up north, and then another load to get him over to the house. Okay, so he ran those loads. He went home on a Thursday, the same day I went home for my cousin's wedding. He went home the same day. All right, now, like I said, I go home every other weekend, and I come back out. So I came back out on Monday, right? And he was planning to stay home for a week because he had been out six weeks, and he was gonna go come out on that Friday, so which would have been basically roughly 6 days. Okay, so he was getting. I reached out to him in like on a Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe, and I was just like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And he telling me, I in particular don't, try if I know a driver on home time, I don't really call him, but I just something just told me, "Hey man, check on him, see how things going." I gave him a holler, and he was telling me, "Man, they keep sending me loads over. I'm declining them. You know, they send me pre-plans over, and I'm declining them. I'm telling them, hey, but I hadn't really said anything. I'm ignoring. He ignored, I think, one message, and then he declined the other message, saying what his PTA was, and then, but he was still getting them. I was like, well, I don't get them like that. I'm on home time. I don't get no messages until like right before I get ready to come out. I might get one pre-plan, but normally my driver manager knows when I'm leaving the house, so it's just a pre-plan for that time when I'm leaving. So I said, maybe you want to call them and let them know what's going on, and or what have you, or find out what's going on, shall I say, because you shouldn't be getting. I mean, they shouldn't be bothering you like that on your home time. So he called and he talked to his driver manager, and his driver manager said, well, I think he was supposed to be coming out on the 16th, and his driver manager was like, well, we got you coming out on the 13th. He was like, whoa, nah, I'm supposed to be coming out on the 16th. And he was like, well, nah. His driver manager was like, well, nah, we got you for the 13th, and I don't know that you can sit that long. And he was like, remember, when he went home to Baton Rouge, the computer had reset his home time, right? So basically, because he was so close to his home, it set it like he had went home instead of him being just there for a reset, because that's where he was routing. So she was supposed to have fixed that per his conversation with her, right, through PeopleNet, So he apparently, I guess she never fixed it, or something got misunderstood in it. But she was like, well, you need to contact your fleet manager, because we got you coming back out on the 13th. So he contacts his fleet manager, and his fleet manager basically says something to the fact that he can't have the truck sitting that long. So I think that was the final straw for him, and he kind of decided that it was time to do something different, which I say all that to say, his driver manager and probably the planner, driver manager ultimately, I think, kind of failed him, because you look at it like this. My driver manager knows when I'm going home, and she just asked me this morning, when am I coming back out? Okay. And I sent a message telling her when I'm coming back out. So normally when I do that, she plans me according to that, And if anything changes, then, I let her know. And they not anal about the whole time, as long as you're not taking advantage of it all the time, But in this situation, his driver manager failed him. So, when any company you with, not just Crete, but any company you're with, if your driver manager is not keeping you as productive as possible, then you have to have a conversation with your driver manager. One thing that I used to tell him, and I said, man, you got to talk to your driver manager. I understand, in orientation they tell you to use your people net to that way you cover you and your driver manager. Y'all, it's in writing, which I agree with that. But had a conversation and then send a message saying, per our conversation, I'm just confirming this, blah blah blah. That way that covers both of y'all, so y'all backsides. But at the same time, sometimes you lose clarity when you don't talk to your driver manager. You don't have to talk to them all the time. I don't talk to mine that much. But I do, when I do need something, sometimes I'll just pick up the phone and do it instead of just sending it across the people net. Just so I can get clarity and let her know, hey, this is what I got going on. But it was a bad situation for him. I hated to see it happen to him, because the dude was, he was running hard, and he's a good brother, and I think it was just more of a misunderstanding than anything. Because what ended up happening after that, the assistant fleet manager, I guess, looked into what, or maybe the fleet manager had the assistant fleet manager do it, because she or he ended up looking into it, and they messed around and found out, well, my partner was exactly right. He should have been home for 6 days, and it shouldn't have been no problem, and she came back and told him that and said, well, hey, more than happy if you want to stay. Just, it's on us. We'll make it right. And he was just like, nah. I think he had found something, or he wanted to do something different. Because again, his driver manager wasn't. I don't think was not getting him the miles that he probably should have gotten. With a good driver manager. But I don't know. Like I said, if she's younger, or she was a newer driver manager, she's still learning. He's new, he's learning. But you gotta stay on top of things. Like, I encourage, like, when I talk to people that's young in the game, hey, when you get these loads, they give you dates to deliver them, but them dates not always set. They not necessarily set in stone. You can deliver them early. Sometimes you can pick them up late, and as long as you can deliver it on time, so that way you could sneak in. For me, I sneak in 34-hour recess like that a lot. Pick it up late, deliver it on time. So sometimes they'll have dates and times on there, and I call and I'm just make sure, hey, I'm over here at the truck stop. It's 10 miles away from you. It says you don't want this delivered till 12 o'clock tomorrow, but I'm sitting over here at like 12 o'clock today. If you want it, and they'd be like, oh yeah, bring it on over. We'll work you in, or sure. And you would go over there and you find out that it's a smaller operation. Ain't no trucks in there right now. So you back into the door and you get it unloaded, and you empty, and you now ready to go get your pre-plan or your next load. So, and that's how you get the mile. A little deal that my dad, like I said, he's been driving for over 40 years, 45 years, something like that. And that's one of the things that he impressed on me. Hey man, get it off as soon as you can so you can get to the next one, because that's how you gonna make your money. So, all that being said, hey, the company is only as good as the driver manager. If the driver manager is not as keeping you as efficient and productive as possible, then you have to have a conversation with the driver manager. And sometimes you may have to push them to keep you productive. But in the end, once they know that you're gonna run like that, and they understand what it is you gonna do and how you gonna do it, then you more than likely you won't have to deal with that long term. They'll figure you out, understand how you like to do things and how you gonna do things, and then they'll leave you alone, let you do your job, and they'll make sure you productive because you're one of the stronger drivers. But if you don't communicate to them, then they think they doing okay, and they don't understand that, hey, you could be a whole lot more productive and efficient than what you're doing. So, hey, that's my time. Hey, y'all. Hey, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Like, share, comment on the videos. Let me know that if it's helpful. Let me know what's going on with you. All right. So another thing, hey, Crete hiring. So hey, they really hiring. So if y'all want to come over here and get on over here at Crete, feel free to drop me a comment, inbox me. My information is in the description. Cause again, they out here. We got plenty of freight. We run. So I don't know. Like I said, you just gotta conversate with your driver manager. Make sure she or he understands how you like to run and what you gonna do. Okay. So if y'all out there driving, man, hey, y'all be careful. God bless y'all. Y'all take it easy. Your boy out of here.